Who are you following? Not on social media, not even YouTube. I mean, in real life. Who's the person you are modeling your leadership after? Who said to you, follow me, and meant it? Because here's what I discovered after years of leading an organization. You cannot become who you designed to be by following and owning yourself. You need a model. You need someone who has already traveled the road. Someone who can say, I've been there, done that. Now I'm going to show you the way. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Living the Laws. I'm Larry Laws Sr., and this is another edition of Wednesday Wisdom Live. Whether you're joining us live or catching a replay, I'm glad you're here. Before we dive in, I invite you to like, subscribe, and click the notification so you'll never miss an episode. This is your midweek reset, a place where leaders like you come to recharge, refocus, and rise in your leadership journey. And as we get started, I want you to reflect on what kind of leader you're becoming. If you haven't taken a leadership assessment, please do so. It will help give you clarity. You can find a link in the description, and don't forget to join the Living the Laws leadership community so that we can continue to grow together. On today's episode, we're going to go deep into the law of modeling. It's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. Before I walk you through the law's framework, here are three fundamental, I will say foundational pillars that I want you to hold on to. Number one, the most powerful phrase a leader can ever say is follow me. Not one that says, do what I say, but a leader that says, follow me. That means your walk has to match your talk. Your life has to be the message. There is a saying that you walk louder than you talk, meaning your action speaks louder than your words. Number two, you cannot maximize your potential alone. No one reaches their fullest potential in isolation. Successful growth demands a guide, someone who has already walked the path, because even the greatest leaders rely on others to sharpen their vision. Number three, you need more than one model. No one single person can teach you everything. You need a mentor for your career. You need a mentor for your character, for your craft, different voices for different seasons of growth. So remember those three pillars. Be a role model worth following. Look for guidance. Look for guidance that you can't give yourself, and seek multiple voices from multiple dimensions of your life. Let me take you back to our early days in my military career. I was a young soldier. I looked sharp in uniform, I thought. I was disciplined in my field. I executed every mission I was given. I showed up on time. I did what I was told. I took care of my responsibilities. I took care of other people around me by every measure that I knew. I was doing my job. But leading, actually, inspiring others, being someone who people would choose to follow, I was really clueless. Then one day my team leader basically pulled me over and he didn't make a big deal out of it. It wasn't a ceremony or anything like that. Just a direct conversation, the kind that you can remember. That kind that's not just informative, but causes you to think differently afterwards. He said, Laws, being good at your job is not the same as being a good leader. People need to see something in you. They need to see something worth following. That starts with how you show up every single day. Your work ethic, your attitude, your example. That's what people remember. That conversation lit something in me. I started paying attention differently. I stopped just executing. I started observing. I watched other leaders in my unit, how they carried themselves, how they treated people under pressure, how they showed up every day, how they motivated and inspired others, even other soldiers that wasn't under their direct charge. I found my models and I followed them intentionally. Fast forward over 20 years later, I'm now first sergeant, responsible for the health and welfare, discipline, and the development of every soldier in the unit. And I made a decision early in that role that I was going to be the leader that my team leader was for me. I reached back to junior soldiers, young supervisors, the ones that were disciplined and capable, but hadn't yet found their leadership identity. I pulled them aside. I had those same direct conversations. I said to them what I needed to be said to me. I'm not just telling you what to do. I'm showing you. Watch how I lead. Watch how I serve. And then go do the same for someone else. That is the law of modeling. What you receive, you must pass on. The model you follow today becomes the model you become tomorrow. Now, here's the law's framework. This framework will lay out 4 practical ways to apply the law of modeling. L is lead by example. Be a model worth following. A, accountability. Choose your models carefully. W, wisdom. Learn from models at every level. Selfless service. Become the model for someone else. So let's go. On the L, lead by example. Be the model worth following. Before you find your model, you have to ask yourself, am I a model worth following? Good mentors don't just talk excellence, they live it. Character before credentials. Consistency before clout. The people who shaped me mostly weren't always the most decorated. They were the most dependable. Their words worked. Your words will talk. Your walk talks, but your actions talks louder. If you want people to follow you, your life has to be the lesson. So the action item this week, identify one of those areas where your actions are not yet matching your words. That gap is where your growth opportunity is. Close it. Not for appearance, but for integrity. We go to A. A is for accountability. Choose your models carefully. Here are the mistake most people make. They make the mistake by following the wrong person. Maxwell says, not everyone who looks good from a distance is worth following up close. Now, some people like models, they like models until they see behind the curtain. That's where you have to be selective. A good mentor is a worthy example. They're available. They have proven experience. They carry wisdom, not just talent. And they generally care about your growth, not just about their own agenda. Here's a line that stayed with me. Gifted is not the same as good. Someone can have tremendous talent and still be the wrong model for your life. So the action item here is make a list. Pick out the top 2 or 3 people you're currently modeling your leadership after. Ask yourself, honestly, do they have the character? Do they have the character that I want to emulate? Not just a career or the position you're seeking. We move to W, up under wisdom. Learn from models at every level. You don't need the president to teach you how to run a city council. And you don't need a CEO to teach you how to manage your own team. Find someone 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. Their answers are fresh. Their lessons are relevant. And they remember what it felt like to be exactly where you are. I think of the Chinese proverb, Maxwell quotes, to know the road ahead, ask someone coming back. That is the model. That is modeling. You need a tour guide, not a travel agent. Someone who has actually walked the trail, not just show you a picture. Come to every mentoring session prepared. 3 to 4 questions, a pen and pad, and after the meeting, put what you learned into practice before you ask for another one. Your mentor's time is scarce, so honor it. So your action item in this area, identify your next step mentor. Write down 3 questions you want to ask them. Then reach out and ask them for that 20-minute meeting. Let's move to S, selfless service. Become the model for someone else. Here is where it comes full circle. The law of modeling is not just about finding a model, it's about being one. Maxwell says the greatest coaching carries 5 things. 1, they care for people. Number 2, they observe your attitude and performance. Number 3, they help you align with your strengths. 4, they communicate clearly. And 5, they're committed to helping you improve. When I built First Home Alliance, I reached out to many people. Intentionally, I intended not to just build a housing agency. My intention was to build a model, a legacy. I needed a living example. One of those mentors I reached out to was Marcia Griffin of Home Free USA. Marcia has built a tremendous organization. She has blazed a trail for others, and she's definitely a person to look up to. Now, the final action in this area for this week, identify one person in your life who could benefit from your experience. Reach out. Offer to meet, not to lecture, but to listen and guide. Leaders, let me in. Let me leave you with this. Maxwell started his growth journey with trial and error. No mentors, no models, just ambition and guessing. And he almost plateaued right there. Then he figured it out. You cannot become who you are meant to be by following only yourself. You need someone ahead of you lighting the path. And that is why I call myself the lamplighter. Not because I have all the answers, but because I'm committed to lighting the path for those who are still finding theirs. Find your model. Honor the people ahead of you. Learn from every level. And then turn around. Light the path for the person behind you. Because it's hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. But with the right model, there's no ceiling or level that you can reach. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Wednesday Wisdom Live. I pray that this message gives you something to think about, something to act on, and something to carry you for the rest of the week. This is the message. If you found this message to be of value to your leadership journey, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification so that we can continue to grow together. Be sure to click the link in the description to take the leadership assessment and join the Living the Laws community. Until next time, keep growing, keep leading, and keep living the laws. I'm Larry Law Sr., reminding you to think before you move and to make your next move your best move.